Thank you. Welcome to a meeting of the Westboro Advisory Finance Committee. This is meeting number 35 for the committee for FY 2020. It's June 15th, Monday at 7 p.m. We can be seen remotely at www.youtube.com/Westboro TV or on Westboro TV Verizon Channel 28 or Charter Channel 192. Pursuant to Governor Baker's orders of March 12th and March 15th, which were orders to suspend certain provisions of open meeting law and an order imposing strict limitations on the number of people who can gather in one place, this meeting of the Advisory Finance Committee will be conducted via remote participation. There are information about general guidelines for remote participation are on the Town of Westboro's website. But for this meeting, we have members of the public able to watch at the locations I just showed before, and meetings on demand will at the westborotv.org will allow you to watch the meeting in a recorded version. So no in-person attendance of members of the public is permitted, but we've made every effort to make sure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. So with that, I call the meeting to order and we'll proceed with a review of the agenda. The first thing we'll do tonight is review and approve two sets of past minutes, one from meeting number 27 on March 9th and one from meeting number 32 on March 18th. Following that, we will discuss the final draft of the AFC report and recommendations of the Advisory Finance Committee for the annual town meeting, which will be happening on June 20th, 2020 at noon at Westboro High School. After discussion and approval of that draft, we will send it off for printing. Then we will hear from our town moderator, John Arnold, about annual town meeting logistics as they are shaping up. We had interdepartmental transfers on our agenda. There are none tonight, so we will move on then to future draft agendas, chairman and committee liaison reports, public reminders for viewers, and then we will adjourn. So with that, let's take a look at the minutes that were shared from Vice Chair Sean Keogh. I would take a motion on the minutes of meeting number 27, Monday, March 9th, 2020.
Motion to accept the minutes of Monday, March 9th. Sorry, there's a lot of echo.
Okay. So I heard the motion, Beth.
Bradley second.
Okay, and Bradley has seconded us. Any discussion? All in favor? I will do a voice vote. Sean Keogh?
Yes.
Paul Hugo?
Yes.
Mike Beretti?
I think I should abstain since I was absent.
Okay. Andrew Bradley?
Bradley, yes.
Jim Driscoll?
Yes.
Beth Blumberg?
Blumberg, yes.
Terry McGoldrick?
Yes.
So I think that was a 7-1-0 to approve those minutes. Next, okay, got him.
701.
Yep.
7-0-1. Thank you, Mr. Beretti. So, did you want to abstain or? Oh, yes, you wanted to abstain. 7-0-1. Thank you. Then the Westboro Advisory Finance Committee minutes, meeting number 32 on Monday, May 18th. I would entertain a motion to approve these minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes of Monday, May 18th.
Bradley second.
Okay, then another voice vote. Jody Hensley, yes. Sean Keogh,
Yes.
Paul Hugo,
Yes.
Mike Beretti,
Abstain.
Andrew Bradley,
Bradley, yes.
Jim Driscoll,
Yes.
Beth Blumberg,
Blumberg, yes.
and Terry McGoldrick.
Yes.
Okay, that was another 7-0 with one abstaining. All right, our main item tonight is the final review and approval of the revised Town of Westboro report and recommendations of the Advisory Finance Committee to the annual town meeting, spring 2020, to be held on Saturday, March 20th at noon at Westboro High School. I will open the floor to comments. I think what I'll do is go ahead and go down the list again and see if anybody has any comments or feedback on the draft that was shared out today. So let's go ahead and start with Sean Keogh. Do you have any comments, feedback, recommendations?
No, it looks fantastic, Jody. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Paul, Hugo?
No, I thought it was great. Thanks, Jody. It was really, really well written and complete. And, with the corrections that I think I saw come over the email or changes, suggestions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, and thanks for those suggestions. They helped. Mike Beretti. Oops, can you turn on your sound, Mike?
They look really good. I'm really pleased with the way they came out. Message received.
Great, thanks. And thank you for the recommendations you sent in and the sample language. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Andrew Bradley.
Happy with the edits. Look great, and looking forward to voting on it as is.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Jim Driscoll.
All set.
All right, thanks, Jim. Beth Blumberg.
So I thought it was well written. I made one suggestion beyond that.
Did you send it in an email?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet. I'll share it out. Is it an edit for is it in content or editing?
Just talking about the fact that we were able to do this without cutting employees.
So we could say services and employees.
Yeah. Okay.
It's you know what, Beth, when you say that, it's interesting when I think about it, because there is a hiring freeze now. So as people leave, they are not going to be replacing while we're in budget crisis. So to comment on whether we're going to have the same number of employees or not.
The way I worded it was that we didn't cut current employees.
Okay.
It allowed us to not replace, but because that's one of the things that, was a measure of the fact that we were holding it together, is that we weren't making drastic cuts to employees.
Okay. All right. I'll take a look. I'll take a look for your email. I didn't see it when I left my computer
Send it mid-afternoon.
to get ready for the meeting.
Yeah, I sent it mid-afternoon. I'll look for it and make sure it actually went through.
Okay. Thank you, Beth. Terry McGoldrick.
Very nice document. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Terry. And I did hear from Hank by email. I think he shared with the whole committee. He liked the document and thought we should approve it as is. All right. There's a few formatting glitches that will be taken care of at Curry Printing. But with that, I would accept a motion to accept this draft of the content of the report and recommendations of the Advisory Finance Committee.
So I will move that we accept the report and recommendations of the Finance Advisory Committee as indicated in the document.
Bradley, second.
All right. Okay, we'll do a voice vote. I'm going to say Hensley, yes. Sean Keogh.
Yes.
Paul Hugo.
Yes.
Mike Beretti.
Yes.
Andrew Bradley.
Bradley, yes.
Jim Driscoll.
Yes.
Beth Blumberg.
Blumberg, yes.
Terry McGoldrick.
Yes.
All right, that's 800. Thank you. The other thing that I sent in the packet today was the June 12th version of the motions. We anticipate floor actions that, to my count, we're going to pass over 20 votes in this town meeting. That's in response to budget conditions and response to trying to keep a town meeting as quick and efficient as possible, given that we're running a socially distanced town meeting during, still a COVID-19 epidemic. So there'll still be about 19 votes to consider on town meeting floor, but the votes to pass over then have been included in this document I sent to you, which is town meeting motions from the town manager on Friday, June 12th. Those motions might change somewhat, but I don't think they'll change in, maybe some of the wordsmithing will change. I don't think the substance of the motions will change. So you have that to bring with you to town meeting on Saturday, or to consider on Saturday as we're moving through the document. So that is the content for tonight. If we could hear from our town moderator, John Arnold, about where we are with logistics for the town meeting.
Hello, how's everybody
Hi.
doing? Let's see.
Good.
Slightly different
Thanks.
position in my third floor tonight, so hopefully the backlight isn't too bad. I can't see myself. But anyway, so there actually hasn't been much change since Thursday when I spoke with you. We're planning on doing a walk. As you probably saw, included in yesterday's COVID-19 message and email. We've updated the town website with the information and the drafts of the plans that I talked about. A number of us involved in the planning are hoping to meet at the high school for a pre-setup walkthrough tomorrow at noon, just to make sure that we've thought through as much as we can think through and to make a checklist of things. And so I would imagine if there's any significant updates, I would suggest you tune in at the joint meeting of the Selectmen and Board of Health, because I assume I'll be attending that. And we're also hoping to have at least the chairman of the Board of Health and the health director, as well as people from the schools, do the walkthrough tomorrow. So right now everything's sort of in line. I actually heard from the town clerk that she has had a few people call who are either elderly or who have a medical condition, who are looking forward to sitting in the gym, and the rest of us, I hope, are looking for, in the auditorium, and I hope the rest of us are looking forward to the gym. And we're going to finalize where the third room is tonight. I've got a few people lined up to be deputy moderator, so we should have a deputy moderator in all the rooms, so we can run the process as usual. And unless there's questions, I don't really have any significant changes.
Okay. John, I have a question. Beth suggested that I find out from town clerk, or Beth asked how many copies of this document we should be writing, and you suggested meeting with the town clerk. I worked all day on the document. We had 4 runs at getting this document to behave today. Have you had any discussion on how many people to anticipate?
When I went to get sworn in, and also thank you to all the voters who voted on Saturday or early. When I got sworn in, I was so busy trying to make sure I had my mask and all that, I forgot to ask. Okay. But if you send her email, I do know she said more people showed up in person to vote than she expected. But I don't remember the exact number, and I wouldn't want to quote it wrong. But I think it was at least 100 or more. So it's good to see the voter participation. So I would go with her estimate. Because I think I mentioned last Thursday, we're hoping to get volunteers to perhaps put all the things in bags, so it's one per group, and have that. I would say, we always hate to print them and then recycle them or keep them in the personal archives, but we also hate to not have somebody have one, especially because we're not going to be able to easily share with our neighbors this year. So I would err on the higher side, but not too high, and I would say send an email to Wendy, copy me if you want, and then if we have to have a discussion tomorrow, we can talk it through.
Very good. I'll do that. That's great.
John, do you have any idea of is it easy to look up numbers of how many people attended the past few meetings that were not contentious?
I had done that. I actually looked up because I write down the counted votes because when we have electronic voting, we have counted votes. I believe that the past couple years, we've peaked during the budget, and it's usually been about 200 to 225, but sometimes 250. Wendy and I can probably go through and pull that out, but I think when I looked it up, when I was doing the narrative that turned into the report, I think our peak afternoon budget vote, which is usually when we get the most voters, unless we have something, like the high school lights or what have you. I would guess somewhere 250 is a top sort of normal number.
Yeah. My intuition tells me somewhere between 100 and 200, and not over 200. I just don't know where to come in at that. So I'll ask Wendy.
Yeah. I also better to have, although it is money, it would be better to have more than too many than too few. Though I guess in a pinch we could pull up the PDF and have Mark Stockman display it to the voters. But but we'll see. And also, the good news is that we're not using electronic voting, so that saves the town money. So there will be a savings, anyway, from that. So.
Additionally, we're slightly over. Historically, the civics classes then use them, as part of social studies at some point.
Yeah. It's not like they necessarily go to waste. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll check on that tomorrow.
Yeah. And if you want me to be involved, if you have a discussion to try to figure it out, just have you or Wendy give me a call and get me on the call.
Jody, typically we would vote on a number for you to print.
I don't think we're ready to do. Could you vote
If
to
you wanted to, the committee could just vote to authorize the chair to order what seems to be the appropriate number after discussions with the town clerk. You could always just the committee could vote to delegate it.
Yeah, and there may not be a huge difference in the cost between 150 and 200 or something. Like you may find it's negligible extra because it's all in the setup.
Yeah, I don't remember the per copy cost, but I think it's usually in the range of $1 or so per copy after you get to a certain minimum amount. So.
I would accept a motion to be authorized to order the appropriate number of booklets based on the town clerk's estimates.
Okay, I make a motion to approve that the chair or the vice chair have the authority to order up to 250 booklets or up to $500 worth of booklets.
We have $1,500 in our budget for this
Okay.
line item. But
I think it's only, I think I wouldn't necessarily limit the 500 because I don't remember, just to print the first one costs something. So I would say probably just limit the number rather than the cost, and we're just going to assume that the cost is
Up to 200.
is there a second?
Bradley, second. Yep.
All right, let's vote. Jody, yes. Sean?
Yes.
Paul?
Even though I think there'll be 50 to 75 people, I think you got to go over, so I vote yes.
Thank you. Mike?
Yes.
Andrew?
Bradley, yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Beth?
Bloomberg, yes.
Terry?
Yes.
That's 800. Thank you. I'll find out tomorrow and get the order in with Curry. All right.
Before I sign off, I just did want to especially thank the committee. This has been quite the year, as we all know. We thought we were done once, and then we went into the hiatus, and then the hiatus was not the hiatus we thought because there was always work to be done. And so I just want you to know that on behalf of the voters, in my behalf especially, I want to thank you for sticking with it, for rolling with all the changes, and for helping us, however town meeting turns out on Saturday, for just helping the town get there in as normal a way as possible. So thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Are you going to try and meet with us again this year?
I'm probably going to do like one-on-one calls, sort of like this, just to do a debrief, because I do think the debriefs are useful. I think I think we're all going to need to take a little bit of a deep breath. I know that I'm plenty busy, but I also want to start talking to everybody, and especially the people whose terms are up, so I can figure out how to plan for that. I know I've already had some informal conversations with a few, but shortly after town meeting, I'll do my usual email and find out if there's a way we can either meet socially distant somewhere or just have a phone call.
And
Okay,
Andrew Bradley, you had a comment?
Well, Paul has one. Go ahead, Andrew.
Only to let you know, excuse me, only to let you know that I've just sent you the counts of voters for the last 3 years of town meetings.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And,
Sure.
and what was the number, Andrew? Was it somewhere in the 250 range?
The last 3 March meetings we've had were 346, 212, and 212.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
that
remember.
first one was probably with the lights.
No, that was a special town meeting in October, and that was 1,500 almost. So
I have a question, John.
Mhm.
You may have covered in the book, because I read it over a week ago, and I think you do something for all town meetings, but if there's a fire alarm and is everybody going to rush for the doors, or what's the
usually, and I mean, I'll review this with Chief Purcell before we start. Obviously, public safety, if there were an actual fire, I don't expect people to, I essentially assume people would have their masks and just get out.
Right.
But typically what we do, because there will be ambulance and fire personnel, in one, both, or all three things, what we usually do is just pause the meeting, wait for them to figure out what's going on, and then take their direction. So that's what we usually do.
Okay,
but obviously, in the case of an actual emergency, like a real fire,
Right.
I'm not going to criticize anyone who feels that they're going to get 1 or 2 feet away from another person just to get outside. We have to. Also, in case people aren't reading the chat, I just also wanted to remind Jody and Sean, don't forget to post the meeting for Saturday, either at 11:30 or noon or whenever you're going to start, just in case you have to take any votes.
Okay, post meeting for Saturday. All right.
Okay, and I also, before you go, John, I just wanted to also thank you for bearing with this and keeping us apprised and the amazing work you've done on that. And also to say, I'm sorry, I'm not planning to go Saturday for family reasons, but I want everyone to know, I'm talking about the committee too, that I take it very seriously, and I will watch live and be ready to come down if you need a vote or something. But since we're advisory, I can't imagine that would happen. But
Yes, I recognize that we're all in different situations, and I thank all of you for participating whatever way you can. And I don't fault anyone who puts their family and their own health above their service to the town, because you do yeoman's work for the town, all of you, and I appreciate it.
Well, and I don't anticipate controversy either. So if I really thought there'd be a big player, I might show up. But thanks.
So, John, one last question: have we heard about the citizens petition at all?
Oh, yes, I sent that to Jody. I don't know if she sent it out, maybe not. That's all right. Yes, I expect there to be a motion to refer that to the Senior Disabled Taxation Relief Committee. And so I spoke with Mr. George over the weekend. He understands that in order to decide whether the town would act, there'd need to be a lot more discussion and a lot more detail about what would go into it. And he told me that he was willing to have it referred to the committee, and then he will go to the committee and explain what he's trying to accomplish, and we'll see if the committee wants to take further action on it. So I expect him to make that motion. I told him he could have up to 5 minutes to explain what he was trying to accomplish, and then we'll just see what the town wants to do.
Perfect. Thank you.
I want to echo Paul's remarks, which were very well said. But John, thank you so much for all you've done. It's not easy being a moderator, but this is uncharted territory, and you have navigated it with vigor and grace, and helped us along. And it's exciting. This is a historic time we're living in, and to be able to do a socially distanced town meeting in this time is, I feel like we're living history, and you've done a nice job getting us through it.
Not over till it's over.
John,
Pardon? Yeah. Okay.
John, it's appropriate that tonight with your backlighting, you have a bit of a halo.
Sorry. Yeah. I moved to my big monitor so I could type while I was listening. And I haven't gotten a step stool to move the light yet. So yeah.
Nice job. All right. That's great. All righty.
I'll be on till you adjourn in case anything else comes up.
All right. Thank you. It might. The next item is future draft agendas. So I'm going to ask any of you there who are holding on to an agenda item that you want to see, coming up, moving into the fall. Remind me what that is. I know that the staffing study is something that the committee wants to talk about. What else does the committee want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about the tax levy and get Ed Bain in to talk about his paper.
Okay, Ed Bain's paper. Okay. All right. Anyone else?
This is Andrew. I'd like to see if we can get an update on the capital planning.
Okay.
There was an idea about pulling together a single capital worksheet for the entire town, and I know it's been disrupted, but I'm just curious. I want to make sure it stays on the back burner somewhere.
Okay, that's 3. That's good. All right, and I know, anyone else?
Yeah, hi. Probably an update on the library status, because where we were a year ago is very different than where we are in 6 months. And so that library and its funding could be problematic.
Yep.
In terms of timing.
Yes, and they originally were going to give an update, but that presentation has been postponed because we're trying to keep the meeting moving. So it'd be appropriate to just invite the library director and trustees in to get an update.
Okay.
Jody, I'll mention the staffing study that was already mentioned, that by the time we have that in a meeting, it will be established. But everyone should know right now you can read it and affect it a little bit. You can go online and give comments that may get integrated into the draft. So if anybody wants to, do preempt as opposed to just,
And I believe that they extended the date that the staffing study was going to be available to us to comment on.
Yeah, it was a week, but I don't know if it's this week or a week from last Tuesday. I don't know. So it's probably still open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know when most of the capital projects which were originally on this town warrant have been passed over, and when those discussions started, there was a sense that they might be revisited in October at a fall town meeting. I have a sense that the finance team is looking at that household tax and keeping that in mind, which is something we really emphasized in our work this year. So the idea of whether to fund more capital spending if state and local revenues continue to decline. I think those are all important questions we have if a fall meeting is called for the purpose of spending more. But I think that our town leadership is already thinking about that. I anticipate that, but that will have to be something we consider if a fall town meeting is proposed this year.
I think another thing that we're going to have to keep an eye out for is what comes from state and federal government, because there was a call to, sort of uniformly help fund education that may have a huge impact on our expected budget, if we were to actually get any money from that.
Yeah.
Because they're figuring that it's going to cost almost $2,000 per student across the country due to COVID-19, just in additional costs.
Okay, so there may be more federal funding coming. There's other things that can change. The economy may actually come back a little quicker than anticipated, or more slowly. So lots of variables there, but I'm hoping we engage pretty vigorously if a fall town meeting is called in October.
Jody?
Yes.
One of the other issues I think we should revisit, just to get it kind of laid to rest, is the appropriateness of using excess funds from one project for another without bringing it before a town meeting to stand on its own merits. Remember the conversations we had at the last meeting?
I do.
And I know people were talking about it. I have a feeling that's kind of fallen through the cracks with all that's been going on. And I think it's something we should revisit.
Yeah, and that's about closing out warrant articles once they're complete, rather than leaving them on the books to spend down. Yes. I don't know if a new policy has been developed around that or not. I think we should circle back and see where we landed.
But I think this is a selectman's policy rather than our policy.
It may very well be.
We should get
feedback. But I think that the actual determination would come from the selectmen.
We can get an update on the status on that.
Yep.
Okay.
We could offer our opinion.
Right. All right. Okay, that's good. I'll keep that. Sean, could you put those in the minutes?
I will do.
Did you grab them? Okay. Staffing study, tax levy and Ed Bain's paper, capital planning and a single worksheet townwide, library status, fall town meeting and spending then, if we have a fall town meeting, to approve, what's the status on appropriation of unspent monies from one approved project to another one? That's the question, the topic of closing out warrant articles. Those are the ones that I have. Yep. All right.
That's what I have.
I don't have any other chairman reports. Are there any committee liaison reports? Okay. Public reminder for the viewers is we will be having a socially distanced town meeting on Saturday, June 20th at Westboro High School at noontime. there should be the plan for social distancing is available on the town website. I think under the town meeting tab. Would that be where it is, John?
I think there's an article on the main news page that says town meeting has. I'm not sure it got put on the town meeting page.
Okay, so the main news tab.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody, for your extra season, extra innings and extra season of work this year on the AFC. I appreciate it. You've done your job twice for this town meeting. And I appreciate each and every one of you and your commitment to your service to Westboro. And I have nothing. Yep. The other thing we're going to do, I will announce. The other thing we're going to do in one of the next meetings we do, probably the next one we do after town meeting, is I have completed my 2 years as your chair. So we will be considering the chair and the vice chair probably in our next meeting. But if that will go on the agenda in advance before the next meeting. But thank you for the opportunity to serve, and I'm very much looking forward to the next chair. Sitting in the seat, taking on some of this work. And I'll be as supportive as I possibly can. I do plan to stick around. All right, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Second?
Bradley, second.
Thanks. Voice vote. Hensley, yes. Sean Keogh.
Yes.
Paul Hugo.
Yes.
Mike Beretti.
Yes.
Andrew Bradley.
Bradley, yes.
Jim Driscoll.
Yes.
Beth Blumberg.
Blumberg, yes.
Terry McGoldrick.
Yes.
Yes, and that's 800 to adjourn. And one more thing is I will post this approved warrant to the town meeting website, or to the website under the AFC, so that folks who want to read this report and recommendations before Saturday have a chance to do that.
Quick question. Do we have a scheduled tentative next meeting post town meeting?
No. And Leah's away this week, so I don't know if she has any transactions that are going to have to be covered. So I'm not getting a sense.
The first Monday is the 6th, and so that would mean the second Monday would be the 13th if people are concerned about the 4th of July weekend. Not that any of us can necessarily go anywhere, but some people can, I guess.
Yeah,
but I think the 13th would be in time to act on any transfers. I think the transfers have to be done by the 15th. So.
Right. I was going to say we have the funky deadline for transfers.
Yeah, so I'd say it has to be the 6th or the 13th, or not do it on a Monday, just to make sure if there's any transfers to be done.
Can we schedule one of them so that it gets put sort of on the calendar? And if it gets canceled, I have no complaints, but I want to make sure I know, because with this ability to call in, obviously, it's much easier to, regardless of where we are.
I'll be away on the 13th, so that'd probably be okay. I can post a meeting on the 13th. What?
Is this problematic since we adjourned?
Yeah. Do you want to? Yeah. Let's talk about it on Saturday when we're in session.
All right. Well, are we going to actually be? I just want to ask, in terms of technology, are we actually going to be able to quietly talk given the social distancing spacing?
I'm assuming that probably either doing email as having a running email chain or doing a group text or something is going to be the same way. I don't think, because I don't want voters to do it. I don't want the committees sort of getting close and huddling like you usually do either. So
right. That's what I was wondering.
Be a lot of use of texting or email or something.
So we're going to need power for.
Yeah, it's on my list of things to ask for, and we're going to do our best. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
If there's a group text, can someone link me into it?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to say good night. We're adjourned.
Night. Good night, everyone.
Jody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good night.